Captain Alara Vance stood on the bridge of the Sovereign's Wrath, the flagship of the Helier Vanguard, Earth's most renowned and most feared combat fleet. The command deck was a symphony of softly humming consoles, holo-displays in varying shades of sapphire and silver, and the low drone of gravitic stabilizers. Outside the reinforced viewports, the emptiness of interstellar space stretched beyond comprehension, studded with distant suns like scattered grains of diamond. Alara's posture was poised but relaxed, the result of 20 years of naval training and hundreds of engagements across half a dozen star systems. Her dark hair was pulled into a tight bun, and her crisp uniform bore the insignia of an admiral's daughter and a fleet captain, a single gold star above crossed laurel leaves. Despite the accolades, her eyes betrayed the weariness of command, the cost of carrying thousands of souls, and the fate of worlds on one's shoulders. "Captain," came the voice of Lieutenant Roan Kai, her communications officer, his tone respectful yet urgent. "We're receiving a distress signal." Alara turned toward the comm console. On its three-dimensional display, a jagged waveform pulsed an incandescent red, a classic Allied emergency beacon, but transmitted from an unexpected origin. "Source?" she asked, crossing to the console. "Zeta Aurigi Sector, Grid 7G, Roan replied. Standard Allied encryption, repeating at 7-second intervals. Her eyebrows rose. Zeta Aurigi, outside the regulated trade lanes, was notorious for pirate activity and the remnants of precursor relic sites. No official colony or research station was sanctioned there, yet an Allied distress call meant someone human or otherwise was in dire straits. Alara touched the hologrid, zooming in on the distant solar system, scanned the band. Any known vessels registered, transponder pings, pirate comm chatter. Sensors Officer Ensign Mailin tapped her console. No legitimate traffic on record. "Captain, but we're picking up faint subspace emissions likely buried under pirate jammers. It'll take a moment to isolate." "Do it." Alara folded her arms and waked the fleet. Within seconds, the bridge thrummed with activity, orders relayed to the dauntless Goliath, the Vigilance Edge, and the entire escort flotilla. The Helier Vanguard had been in deep space readiness, drills each ship drifting on FTL stasis to conserve energy, ready to respond within minutes. Alara paced to the observation deck, where the curvature of the Wrath's reinforced hull reflected the bridge lights. She allowed herself a moment to breathe. The Helier Vanguard's reputation as Earth's most deadly fleet stemmed not from a desire for conquest, but from the fact that they answered calls most others ignored. They were the hammer when diplomacy failed, the refuge when hope ran dry. A soft chime echoed. Roan's voice crackled in her earpiece. "Signal decrypted." "Ma'am, it's a voice transmission. I'm patching it through." Alara returned to her command chair. The bridge hushed. On the main view screen, static resolved into the blurred faces of two individuals, a human male in ragged engineering overalls, and an alien female whose turquoise skin shimmered beneath a fractured helmet visor. Both looked exhausted, their eyes haunted. "This is Envoy Nadria of the Aurigi Concord," the alien began, voice trembling but determined. "We appeal to the United Earth Coalition. Our settlement Techo reaches under siege. Pirates of the Crimson Skulls have seized control of our seismic cannons, threatening to destabilize the planet's crust. We have no hope without your intervention." Alara felt a jolt of adrenaline. The mention of seismic cannons and the Echo Reach outpost sent a chill through her. Centuries-old rumors spoke of precursor gateways hidden beneath that world. Gateways capable of opening passage across unimaginable distances. In the wrong hands, such power could rend reality itself. "Envoy Nadria," Alara replied, her tone calm but firm. "You have the Helier Vanguard's attention. Specify your coordinates, defensive capabilities, and casualty report." The alien's eyes darted to her companion, who swallowed before replying. "Coordinates transmitted. Outpost shields are down, power grid at 20%. Casualties exceed 70%. We have only a handful of armed guards left. The pirates hold hostages in the central control tower." A murmur swept through the bridge. "Hostages." Alara pressed a finger to the embassy marker on her console. "Understood. Lieutenant Kai, relay the situation to Admiral Kor." She turned to face her first officer, Commander Leon Stroud, standing at the tactical station. Prepare a rapid response team, Marines, engineers, and medical staff. I want shuttles loaded and ready for immediate deployment. Zero hesitation. Commander Stroud tapped her datapad. Aye, Captain. It'll be ready in under 10 minutes. Shall we engage Orbit 2 surface lockdown? Negative, Alara said. No bombardment civilian hostages. We'll extract survivors, assess threats, and neutralize the pirates with precision strikes. This is a rescue mission, not a siege. She locked eyes with Roan. Continue tracking pirate comm frequencies. If we can find their command channel, we might isolate the leadership and force a surrender. Acknowledged. The bridge. Lights dimmed slightly as the fleet emerged from FTL drifts. The Wrath's gravity shifted imperceptibly as thrusters flared, aligning the massive battlecruiser with the Zeta Aurigi star. Across the fleet, energy signatures glowed softly, a silent ballet of warships poised for engagement. Alara allowed herself a moment of reflection. She thought of her brother, Lieutenant Tarek Vance, lost 8 months ago on a precursor survey mission in the Nebula Drift. His last transmission spoke of a gateway resonance. Rumors claimed he'd been chasing clues linked to the very gateways beneath Echo Reach. If he'd survived, perhaps he was among those hostages. A pang of guilt flickered through her chest. She had pressed for higher command when Tarek volunteered for that mission. She had given the order. Now, fate offered her a chance to make amends. Bridge to tactical. She said, steadying her voice. Once our boarding party is away, maintain orbital oversight. Keep weapons armed but safe. I want the element of surprise. Aye, Captain, Stroud replied. The large viewports revealed the Wrath's shadow crossing the amber-stormed globe of Zeta Aurigi. Lightning flickered within the planet's dense clouds, the aftermath of seismic cannon test shots. Far below, the faint orange glow of burning settlements marked where the pirates had struck. Boarding shuttles launching in T-5. The shuttle bay officer announced. One by one, sleek, armored shuttles detached from the hull, their exhaust plumes brief but bright against the void. Marines in powered exoskeletons, weapons locked and loaded, sat strapped into reinforced seats. Engineers clutched tool pods, medics secured triage kits. Alara nodded at Stroud. Godspeed. Stroud's lips curved in a tight smile. May the stars guide us. Helier Vanguard. This is Sovereign's Wrath. Alara hailed across the fleet channel. Shuttles en route to Echo Reach. Execute Plan Orion. I'm descending on the next wave to oversee extraction and intel retrieval. Let's bring everyone home alive. Below, the holographic waypoint blinked over the planet's surface. Echo Reach, last known location. It hovered like a dying ember, waiting to be set ablaze with hope. Alara took a final breath, tightened her grip on the armrest, and braced herself. The call for help had come. Earth's most deadly fleet was answering. And for Captain Alara Vance, this mission was more than orders. It was a chance at redemption. The transition from faster-than-light drift back into real space was always jarring. A sudden snap, as subspace disengaged, replaced by the hum of gravitic coils and the faint roar of ion drives. On the bridge of the Sovereign's Wrath, the holo display flickered from deep purple to the cold blue of the Zeta Aurigi system. 6 stars arched in a distant swirl, their light refracted by the gas giant at the system's heart. Real space vector locked, announced the navigator. No civilian traffic in the system. Pirate jammers are active on long-range comms, but I'm isolating the distress beacon signature. Captain Alara Vance stared at the view screen. There, in the ghostly glow of the gas giant's ring shadows, floated the cargo liner Nyx's Embrace. Its hull was pocked with ruptures, torn panels swinging like broken teeth. A plume of debris drifted from one of its hold vents, microfracture molten copper, glinting as it spun away. Emission readings? Alara asked. Life signs are intermittent. Lieutenant Roan Kai replied at the comm console. I count for strong signatures to human. 1 alien, 1 unknown. 2 more signatures are weak, could be unconscious or injured. Boarding party, report. Commander Leon Stroud's voice cut through the tension. Marines are locked and loaded in shuttles 3 and 4. Engineers and medics standing by. Shuttles are on approach. The shuttle, Bay officer confirmed, ETA to minutes. Alara nodded. Good, Roan, open a secure channel to the Nix's embrace. Let them know help is here. And scramble our tractor beams if they drift too close to debris fields. We'll hold them steady. Aye, Captain. She turned to Dr. Mirela Haney, who stood clutching her medkit, eyes focused. Doctor, be prepared for triage the moment we beam survivors aboard. I want vitals monitored continuously. Haney inclined her head once, then set her jaw, steeling herself. Moments later, alarm klaxons sounded throughout the Wrath. Boarding shuttles have taken incoming fire, the shuttle bay officer shouted. Pirate ships to Corsair-class raiders emerging from behind the ring. Alara's heart quickened. Tactical, target the raiders. Disable propulsion, don't destroy, we may need intel. On the tactical grid, the raiders blazed into view, sleek, angular. Their surfaces streaked with red and black paint. Beam batteries charged in their dorsal turrets. Energy weapons to 3/4, Stroud ordered. Focus on the aft. Thrusters jammed their FTL capabilities. Pulses of green energy lanced through space. Two raiders staggered as their engines fluctuated. The boarding shuttles blinked out of sensor range, then reappeared. Jittering in the tractor beam's embrace, shuttles secured, the bay officer reported. Crew manifest, Marines intact, no casualties reported. Stroud exhaled. Shuttle 3 reports, survivors beamed aboard. Alara strode to the open transporter chamber, where a crimson glow marked the pad. 2 Marines ushered the first party of survivors out. Envoy Nadria, her turquoise skin scuffed with soot. Dr. Elliot Marlowe, the human engineer, clutching a scorched datapad, and a young RG researcher named Licinia, who stumbled forward, blood trailing from her temple. Haney was already kneeling beside them, Elliot Marlowe engineering specialist stable. She murmured, scanning Marlowe's shoulder wound. Licinia was unconscious, vitals shallow. Nadria stood, trembling, her eyes fixed on Alara. Captain Vance, Nadria said, voice raw. Thank you. Alara offered her hand. You're safe now, Envoy. We'll get you the rest of your people. 2 more survivors remain, Nadria replied. And hostages human and RG are still held on the planet. We don't know how many. On my order, Alara said. Stroud, deploy Nightshade in cloaked approach to extract the remaining 2. Kai, have field encryptors patch into Licinia's neural implants. We need her testimonial once she's conscious. Kai tapped at his console, working on it now. In the sickbay corridor, Haney moved with efficient calm, ferrying Licinia, and Marlowe inside. Alara lingered in the transporter room with Nadria, who scanned the empty deck plates, fear flickering across her face. They dragged the hostages to the old control tower, Nadria whispered. They're using the seismic cannon arrays as a threat, claiming they'll fire on the city if the Concorde doesn't surrender. Alara's jaw tightened. What's the capacity of those cannons? Capable of 6 gigaton yields, Nadria said. Each blast can induce a magnitude 9 quake. The planet's core strength will hold them maybe, but the surface will shatter. Millions would die. Alara absorbed this, understood. We'll neutralize those cannons before they fire. But we need to know their defensive layout. Nadria shook her head. I only have sketch maps these. She held up a datapad, but it's enough to pinpoint the tower. The pirates have set automated defense turrets, seismic drones they call them. Groundspix, to patrol the perimeter. Groundspix, Alara repeated, storing the name. Excellent, that gives us a target profile. A soft chime drew her attention. Roan's voice. Captain, Nightshade reports successful retrieval of the remaining to 1 engineer, 1 Concorde sentry. They're aboard and requesting medical attention. Good work, Alara replied. Have them escorted to sickbay, then prepare for descent. We're going to need orbital scans of the control tower and a full tactical briefing. She paused, searching Nadria's face. Envoy, why did you send an allied code? You said your settlement was Concorde, not coalition. We had no choice, Nadria said, voice cracking. The pirate jammers blocked all external frequencies except the allied distress band, they thought. No one would respond to it out here. They underestimated humanity's reach. Alara offered a small smile. They underestimate a lot of things. She turned as Commander Stroud appeared at the transporter rim. Captain, Orbital scans are complete. Control tower is built into the side of a ravine, overlapped by natural caverns camouflaged visually. Defense turrets on the rim, with ground spics patrolling the base. Seismic cannons stand behind it. Aimed inland, Stroud tapped a holomap, rotating it until they faced the same orientation as the viewports. Entry point would be through. The caverns team can rappel from the shuttles into the western fissure. Minimal detection if we stay below turret sight lines. We'll need to neutralize to perimeter turrets and disable to ground spics before moving in. Alara nodded, memorizing the plan. What about hostages? Hostages are secured in the old command control room above the cannon mounts, behind armored blast doors. I estimate 20 pirates on guard, plus 2 heavy gunners, understood. Alara turned back to Nadria. Envoy, I will lead the first wave down. Dr. Haney and medics will follow in the second shuttle. Rena, you'll command the support team from orbit, ready to provide evacuation. Nadria's shoulders straightened, resolve replacing fear. Thank you, Captain. I will guide you to the entrance. Alara extended her hand. Nadria took it, and in that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. 2 worlds joined. By necessity, facing a common threat. Overhead, the nightshade slipped away, invisible, to maintain overwatch. Below, the gas giant's rings cast shifting shadows over the ravine walls. And as the boarding shuttles powered up for descent, Alara Vance felt the weight of every life aboard the Wrath and every soul they had sworn to protect. Helier Vanguard, she transmitted, voice calm yet commanding. This is Sovereign's Wrath. Initiate Operation Stormfall. Godspeed. The sky above Echo Reach was a roiling tapestry of orange storm clouds, lit from within by constant flashes of lightning, the ominous residue of pirate cannon tests. From orbit, the Sovereign's Wrath deployed its boarding shuttles in silent choreography, sleek, oblong craft carving glowing trails through the gloom before slipping behind the planets. Ring shadow. Captain Alara Vance watched from the shuttle bay viewport, heart pounding with purpose and the weight of command. All units, brace for drop, she intoned. Voice steady, Marines, prepare for fast rope insertion. Engineers and medics, second. Wave standby. The first shuttle banked low over the lip of a jagged ravine. Below, the weathered red rock dropped away into shadow, broken only by the faint glow of distant floodlights. That marked the perimeter turrets, 5 towering cannons silent, for now loomed beyond, their barrels pointed inland like malignant sentinels. Between them stood the control tower, its angular form carved into the cliff face. Wind buffeted the shuttle, howling through vent ports as metal groaned under atmospheric stress. Alara gripped the handrail, scanning the troop bay. A dozen Marines, empowered exoskeletons, checked their weapons, faces set in grim determination. Sergeant Mara Sun, the drop team leader, gave a curt nod. Captain, we're on the western fissure. Sun reported, ropes are down. Wind shear is light optimal insertion. Alara exhaled. Go dark, no lights. Use thermal scopes only. Infiltrate, secure turret alpha, and move to the ravine floor. Then set charges on the ground spics. A green beacon flared briefly on Sun's helmet HUD. Copy that. The ramp dropped silently. The Marines slipped onto narrow ledges. Gravity. Boots engaging as they rappelled down ropes into the darkness. Alara followed, the last to leave the shuttle. Her own boots hitting rock with a thud that resonated through the canyon walls. Below, the ground level was a maze of twisting gullies. And half-tone shadow. Engineer Dr. Elliot Marlowe and a team of 2 combat engineers crouched behind boulders, setting compact breaching charges on a spider-like ground-spic drone. Its mechanical legs were folded, dormant, but its sensors would soon purr to life. Charges in place, Marlowe whispered. Overcome. 3-second detonation. Stand by, Alara replied. She scanned the ridges above. 2 automated turrets sat atop rocky outcrops, their barrels swiveling on silent hydraulics. She keyed her comm mech. Sun, Alpha turret in sight, locked, and loaded, came the reply, requesting order to engage. Engage. A muffled boom echoed through the ravine as a demolition round punched into the turret's base. Sparks flew, metal crumpled. The turret slewed outward, its targeting array exploding in shards. Simultaneously, Marlowe's charges on the ground spick detonated in a controlled implosion, its circuitry crashing in a cascade of sparks. Objective 1 and 2 neutralized, Sun announced. Alara allowed herself a brief nod of satisfaction before shifting focus. Proceed to Objective 3, rappel to the canyon floor and flank the control tower. Sun. You've got point. I'm on your 6. The team moved as one, ghosts in the orange half-light. Dropping into the narrow canyon, the ground trembled, a subtle warning tremor that rippled beneath their boots. Alara's eyes flicked upward to the 3 remaining seismic cannons, to lay idle. The third hummed with power, runic inscriptions glowing a sickly blue along its barrel. They're charging. Nadria's voice crackled in her ear. We've got minutes before the next test fire. Minutes was all they'd need. Alara pressed onward. Suddenly, a chorus of gunfire exploded from the canyon's far end. Crimson-armored pirates poured from a hidden alcove, firing plasma carbine bursts that seared rock and sent Marines diving for cover. The world erupted into chaos. Alara dove behind a shattered boulder, returning fire with her pulse rifle. Beside her, Sun's squad laid down suppressive fire, their exoskeletons absorbing recoil as they advanced. A pirate lieutenant, Crimson, Vam braced, charged with a vibro-axe raised. He pivoted to face Alara, eyes blazing with fanatic fervor. Captain, I've got your 6. Sun shouted, unleashing a double tap that dropped the lieutenant in a spray of sparks and gore. Alara pressed forward, adrenaline sharpening her senses. She vaulted over debris, her rifle spitting precision shots that popped through pirate defenses like turning points. Each step took her closer to the tower's reinforced door, where the hostages waited. Behind the skirmish line, Dr. Haney directed medics as they set up triage stations beneath the canyon overhang. Tranquilize over there, she called, tending to a wounded Concord sentry whose turquoise skin had gone pale. We need to keep them stable for extraction. The ground-spick drones, once disabled, lay inert, a testament to the precision strike. But the seismic cannon's energy field crackled ominously, its runes pulsing faster. Charges on cannon rails, Alara queried. Marlowe's voice set. 5 seconds to detonation. Pull back, she barked. Eject. Marines tumbled away as a blinding flash erupted. 2 gigatons of seismic force detonated in a directed blast, the shockwave racing inward until the gravity wells the Vanguard had deployed above yanked the pulse into containment. The earth trembled violently, but the ravine held. Stunned pirates went flying. Dust and debris rained like hot ash. When the dust settled, the control tower door lay splintered apart. Inside, Alara found hostages huddled beneath consoles, civilians, engineers, and Concord guards. Fear etched into every face. Heavy gunners fell back under the squad's disciplined advance, their plasma cannons sputtering as ammo ran out. Secure the prisoners, Alara ordered. Medical team, movin'. Nadria knelt beside one of the hostages, gathering survivors in an embrace of relief. You're safe now, she whispered. The Vanguard is here. Sweat and grime coated Alara's face as she surveyed the scene. A half-dozen pirates still resisting. Crouched behind overturned chairs, she raised her rifle, heart pounding with righteous fury, and fired. The last pirate fell, motionless. Silence reclaimed the tower, broken only by the labored breathing of the rescued and the distant thunder of the storm. Marines secured blast doors to create a makeshift holding cell. Dr. Haney began her triage, coordinating evacuation plans. Alara contacted the Wrath's orbiting command. Control tower secured. Hostiles neutralized. Casualty report, pirates, 15 KIA. 3 POW, friendly, 2 minor injuries. Civilians, all safe. Proceed with extraction. Copy, Sovereign's Wrath, came the reply. Shuttle inbound in 3 minutes. Keep your eyes open. She turned to Nadria, whose face reflected exhaustion and gratitude. Envoy, any intel on their chain of command? Any data left behind? Nadria produced a small data crystal from a pouch inside her tunic. This has everything: seismic schematics, turret controls, and a partial map of the precursor runes beneath the tower. Alara's chest tightened. She took the crystal carefully. Good work. We'll secure it for Dr. Haney's analysis. Just then, The ground gave another violent shudder, a tremor more intense than before. Alara's eyes darted to the battered cannon's mounting platform, where molten scars ran across scorched concrete. "They've re-established power to one cannon." Roan's voice came over comms, tense. "I'm seeing energy signatures at 50% charge." Alara's jaw clenched. "On my mark, disable before it fires." Stroud, divert orbital phaser to low-yield shot on the barrel. Phasers locked. Stroud confirmed. Awaiting. "Your order." Alara looked back at the hostages' families reunited, trembling survivors held by medics. Their lives now depended on her next move. She raised her voice over the din. "Through squadron. Phaser fire." A streak of cobalt light lanced down from orbit, scoring the cannon's barrel with pinpoint precision. Sparks cascaded. Runic power circuits fizzled out. The cannon powered down abruptly, its mounting shaking with a deafening metallic groan. Relief washed over the canyon, mingled with the acrid scent of ionized metal. The mission was won, but at a cost that weighed on every soul there. Alara allowed herself a moment to breathe. "Echo Reach is secure," she reported. "Concord survivors are safe, seismic threat neutralized for now." But as shuttles began ferrying the rescued skyward, Alara's gaze drifted to the fissure leading to the ancient precursor ruins below. Nadria's map hinted at deeper chambers, gateways untouched by time. The true battle, Alara realized, lay still ahead, and as the first shuttle climbed toward the stars, she vowed, whatever waited beneath Echo Reach, the Helier vanguard would face it together. Twilight's amber glow seeped through the jagged fissures overhead as Captain Alara Vance led her team deeper into the hidden precursor complex beneath Echo Reach. The air thrummed with latent energy, each footstep echoing against walls carved from obsidian-hued stone. Faint glyphs etched by an ancient hand flickered in iridescent blue-white light, illuminating the path in an otherworldly dance. Behind her, Nadria moved with lithe grace, her turquoise skin reflecting the glyphs. Shimmer. Dr. Mirela Haney consulted a handheld scanner, its readout displaying fluctuating resonance patterns. Lieutenant Roan Kai and Sergeant Mara Sun flanked Alara, weapons and scanners at the ready, ever vigilant for hidden defenses or structural traps. At the corridor's end, the passage opened into a vaulted chamber more vast than any cathedral. Stalactites of crystalline metal hung from the ceiling, refracting light into prismatic arcs. In the center, a ring of monolithic pillars floated inches above the polished floor, each engraved with concentric runes. Between them hovered an archway of liquid silver, its surface rippling as though aware of their presence. The Eclipse Nexus. Alara felt her pulse quicken. This was the gateway precursor legend made real. She raised her calm. "Wrath, come in. We've reached the chamber. Runic pillars engaged. Portal active. Requesting power-up protocols." Commander Stroud's voice crackled in response from orbit. "Copy that. Sovereign's Wrath. All fleet sensors are locked. No hostiles detected in the complex. You have 10 minutes before system drift requires shutdown. Proceed with caution." Alara exhaled. Time was scarce. She activated her glove's holographic interface, overlaying the schematics Nadria had provided. "Dr. Haney, can you stabilize the resonance field at this distance? Envoy, help me align the sigils." Haney's fingers danced over her scanner's keys. "The runes are self-sustaining, but the conduit core is dormant. We need to route power through the pillars in a phased sequence to ramp up steadily too. Fast and the field will collapse. To slow and we'll run out of time." Nadria nodded, tracing luminous lines in midair. "We mirror the precursor sequence, but we must integrate the Aurigi harmonics. If we don't, the portal won't synchronize with Earth's phase signature. Any traveler will be lost in subspace." Alara studied the glyph lattice, a complex weave of human and alien resonance. "Understood." Lieutenant Kai set up power couplings on pillars 1 and 2. "Sun, assist Dr. Haney with the harmonic calibrator. I'll initiate the sequence." They sprang into action. Kai and his team deployed compact gravitic batteries, affixing them to the first two floating pillars. Sun and Haney unpacked a cylindrical device bristling with nanofiber coils. The harmonic calibrator. Nadria aligned its spines with the Aurigi. Runes on the adjacent pillar, each prick of contact sending soft chimes through the chamber. Alara approached a console at the chamber's rim, a crystalline daze etched with universal symbols. She pressed her palm to its surface. The daze glowed in recognition, pulsing in time with the calibrator's hum. Powering pillars 1 and 2, Kai reported. Motes of light flared along their runes, traveling in synchronized spirals. The chamber's ambient temperature rose as energy built in the conduits. Calibrator locked. Sun confirmed, integrating RG harmonics. The harmonic device thrummed, sending a rolling sine wave through the pillars, which shuddered in resonance. Alara's fingers flew across the console, activating core alignment Tier 1. A low vibration coursed beneath her feet. The pillars brightened. The Orcs' surface rippled into clearer form, revealing the shifting vista of interstellar void beyond. Tier 2, she commanded. The pillars flared intensely, and the arch began to hum, a deep, melodic tone that vibrated in the air. Alara felt it in her bones, an ancient song of cosmic travel. Suddenly, alarms blared on the data scanner. Power fluctuation pillar 3 unstable, Haney shouted. The third pillar flickered erratically, its glyphs sputtering. Alara dashed across the polished floor. What's wrong? Haney's face was tense. The pirate sabotage. You saw this chip. She held up a metallic fragment shard and pitted. They tried to insert a feedback loop. If we don't bypass it, it'll overload the core. Nadria grabbed the fragment, examining it under the calibrator's light. A crude device but deadly. We need to isolate the loop and cut its circuit. Alara looked to Kai. Rune snip on pillar 3. Careful, don't destabilize. Kai's gloves glowed as he engaged his sonic cutter, carving along the chipped glyph line. Sparks danced. The sabotaging device dissolved into harmless motes. Instantly, the pillar's runes steadied, brightening to match the others. Stability restored. Kai announced. Alara nodded, returning to the console. Proceed to Tier 3, she ordered. Energy cascaded through all 6 pillars now, their lights merging into an aerial around the arch. The fluctuation alarms ceased. The hum deepened, and the rippling mirror-like surface of the gateway solidified into a shimmering portal, an open window onto the cold void of space, framed by a lattice of starlight. A quiver of excitement ran through the team. Nadria stepped forward, tears glinting at the corners of her eyes. It's beautiful, she whispered. I never thought we'd see this again. Alara laid a hand on the ark's edge. One shuttle can pass through, safely. Anyone after that, we'll need to expand the resonance field. She looked at her officers. I'll go first to confirm exit vector. Dr. Haney, you're second. Then shuttle departure. All others, stand by. Kai keyed his comm. Wrath, this is Vance. Shuttle clearance request. 1 vessel to activate and verify. Over. Clearance granted, Stroud replied. Depart within 90 seconds or shut down to preserve energy. Alara turned back to the team. Suit up. I leave nothing to chance. She clipped on her helmet, the visor closing with a hiss. Nadria produced a small RG tokenan emblem of Concord and handed it to Alara. For safe passage, she said, voice thick. Alara tucked it into her breast pocket. Thank you, she replied. We'll return with more than just a token. Outside, beyond the portal, the void beckoned. Alara stepped forward into the luminous fringe and disappeared. A heartbeat later, static flickered on the gateway's surface. Then, the outline of the shuttle of Vanguard transport materialized in low Earth orbit, its hatch cycling open as Captain Vance re-emerged onto the transporter pad. We're clear. Alara's voice crackled in the comm. Exit vector confirmed. Stable jump coordinates to LX-170 in Earthstrom sector. All systems green. Back in the chamber, Nadria, Haney, Kai, and Sun watched the portal shimmer. Alara's image lingered for a moment, a beacon of hope before. The ark's ripples smoothed into reflective calm. Send the shuttle, Nadria said softly, wiping a tear, and let us seal the gateway for further study. Haney activated the shutdown sequence. Runic pillars dimmed. The ark's mirror sheen receded, leaving behind only the empty frame etched into stone. Yet the energy of what had been, of what could be, remained palpable in the chamber's hushed dot as the shuttle vanished on its return flight, carrying Alara's triumphant report and the RG data crystal. The team fell silent in the hollow glow of the precursor sanctuary. Outside, the The storm clouds above Echo Reach had quieted. The world breathed anew without the threat of seismic terror. Alara's last words echoed in Nadria's mind. The galaxy just got a lot bigger and a lot more dangerous. They had answered the call for help and opened a door to tomorrow. Now, Earth would stand with allies old and new at the threshold of possibilities it had only dreamt of. And in the silent recesses of the chamber, the precursor runes pulsed faintly, as if whispering of destinies yet to unfold.